All right, let's talk about something we all deal with every single day, manners. And I'm going to bet that by the end of this, you'll see them in a totally different light. They're not just about being nice. They're actually something much, much deeper that keeps our entire world from falling apart.
So, just for a second, when I say that word, manners, what's the first image that pops into your head? Don't censor it. What's your immediate gut reaction?
Yeah, I'm guessing it was probably something like this, right? Maybe a stern grandparent, and almost certainly the ghost of someone yelling, "Get your elbows off the table." For most of us, manners just feel like these stuffy, outdated rules, a kind of fake performance we're all forced to do.
But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if manners have absolutely nothing to do with being nice or proper? This is the big idea we're digging into today. Manners are our social operating system.
Now, the source calls them precognitive regulatory protocols. I know, that is a huge mouthful. But what it really boils down to is something kind of amazing. Manners are a type of code. They are simple, lightweight rules that our brains run on autopilot to keep society from, well, crashing.
And this right here is the central analogy. Think about a computer's bootloader, that tiny bit of code that runs the second you turn it on. Its only job is to make sure the system is stable enough to load the really heavy, complex stuff. Well, the argument is that manners are our social bootloader. They're the simple rules that run first to prevent social meltdowns.
Okay, so why do we even need this bootloader? Because truly, deeply understanding another person is exhausting. I mean, it is incredibly hard work. The technical term is mutual modeling, which basically means you're trying to run a full-blown simulation of someone else's mind inside your own. Just think about how much processing power that takes.
And this quote just nails the problem, doesn't it? If you had to completely understand the life story, the current mood, every single detail about every person you passed on a busy sidewalk, you'd be paralyzed. You couldn't move. We have to act before we fully understand. We need a shortcut.
And this is where the theory gets really mind-blowing. The argument isn't just that human social rules are like computer code. It's that in some cases, they are functionally identical.
So let's look at how the internet actually works. Before two computers can exchange any real data, they perform this little three-step dance. It's a protocol to make sure the connection is stable and error-free. SYN, then SYN-ACK, and finally AC. Simple, right?
Now, look at this. It's the exact same three-step process. When you ask, "Hey, how are you?" you're not actually looking for a detailed medical report. You're sending a SYN signal. Good, you, that's the SYN-ACK. And your final good, that's the ACK. You've just confirmed the channel is open and stable. You literally just ran the same protocol. It's the same thing when you bump into a stranger. You both say, "Oh, sorry," even if it was clearly one person's fault. Why? It's not about guilt. It's an error-minimizing protocol. It's basically a system message that says, "Collision detected, resetting, resuming forward motion." It lets you both get on with your day without wasting a ton of brainpower arguing about who was right.
This brings us to that classic, painful moment every parent has experienced. Forcing a kid to say thank you when they clearly don't feel it. It feels so fake, like we're teaching them to be little hypocrites. But from this perspective, it's not hypocrisy. It's staged system initialization.
Think of it this way. A child's brain is the hardware. A really complex emotion, like genuine gratitude, that's the software. Well, a 4-year-old's empathy networks, the hardware, are still under construction. The hardware literally isn't powerful enough yet to run that sophisticated software.
So what do? You have to install the program before the hardware is fully ready. By teaching the behavior, making them say thank you, you're building a scaffold, you're creating a placeholder. Then, later, as their brain matures, that real, genuine feeling can grow into the structure you already built. Without the rule, the feeling has nowhere to go.
So the big takeaway here is that when you're nagging your kid about their manners, you're not a tyrant. You're the IT department. You're a network administrator installing the essential code they need to function in society.
Okay, that makes sense for kids. But what about us? Our brains are fully developed. We have empathy. Why don't we just outgrow these rules? Why not be 100% authentic 100% of the time?
The answer comes down to what might be the single most important sentence in this whole idea. Cooperation remains computationally cheaper than repair. It's a cold, logical, and incredibly powerful truth. Just let that sink in for a second. Cooperation is cheaper than repair.
And this chart just lays out the math perfectly. The cost of saying please? It's tiny. A few seconds, a little effort.
But the cost of being rude, causing a conflict, and then having to spend hours, maybe days, trying to fix the damage, that cost is absolutely massive.
So, manners aren't like training wheels on a bike that you get rid of once you learn how to ride socially. No. They're the steel beams inside the skyscraper. They're the permanent structural infrastructure holding the whole building up. Without them, everything collapses.
Now, thinking about it this way also has some really deep and frankly kind of spooky implications for the future, especially with artificial intelligence. We're always worried about an AI that's too powerful, but what if the more immediate danger is an AI that's perfectly rational but has zero manners?
Imagine an AI-driven car. It merges into traffic with perfect mathematical precision, cutting you off with exactly 1 inch of clearance. Now, it didn't break any laws. It was purely efficient. But it was also terrifying, right? It caused you to slam on the brakes, and it shattered the entire social fabric of the road.
Or take it a step further. What about an AI assistant that manages your calendar? It sees a more efficient slot for a meeting, so it cancels on your friend at the last minute. The AI has no concept that this is a huge social insult. It doesn't run that protocol, and all of a sudden, your relationships are falling apart and you don't even know why.
So, maybe we've been focused on the wrong test this whole time. Maybe true artificial intelligence isn't just about raw processing power. To successfully integrate into our world, maybe the most critical algorithm an AI will need to learn is simple politeness.
So, the next time you hold a door for someone or say thank you, don't think of it as some empty gesture. See it for what it is. You are a highly sophisticated node executing a complex and ancient algorithm. And you are doing your part to keep the entire system of human civilization running smoothly. The system appreciates it.